What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Breakthrough Society podcast. I'm your host, Irvin, and I'm here with my friend Erik Allen on the show. What's going on, Erik?
Hey, man, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come on, man. It's such an honor, dude.
Okay, all right. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Breakthrough Society podcast. I'm your host, Irvin, and I'm here with my friend Erik Allen on the show. What's going on, Erik?
Hey, man, I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for the opportunity to come on, man. It's such an honor, dude.
For sure, man. I know we recorded last month on your show, so I
Yeah,
had to get you on mine.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. So, first question I always ask my guests is just tell the audience who's Erik and what do you do?
Yeah, my name is Erik Allen. ErikAllenMedia.com is the website, but I do two podcasts, the Top Rated MMA Show, where I'm asking, up and coming MMA fighters from around the world on there, and I kind of help them get known and noticed online. And then my other show it's now the Erik Allen Show. It was the Bearded Biz Show up until this week. We just changed the name, but it's where I talk with entrepreneurs, world changers, and success-minded people. And been blessed to speak to some amazing people from Ed Milet to, Tim Story, Ryan Stewman, Bradley, Bedros Koulian, all those guys. And then I work full time, and I'm married to my awesome, beautiful wife of 16 years, and have two amazing kids, man. And yeah, it keeps me busy.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You got some heavy hitters on your show for sure.
I love it. Love it,
Yeah,
man. Yeah.
yeah. How did you go about getting them on the show?
So it's funny because when I started, I was like, how am I going to get these guys on the show? Like, I think Sean Whalen was probably like guest number 6 on my show.
Oh,
And,
wow.
the way that I got him was I sent him an email message on Instagram, or just a direct message on Instagram. But really, since I did that, it was very early on that I switched over. Like, I don't send text templated email or messages to anybody anymore. If I want somebody to come on my show, I pull out my phone and I do a 30-second video. That's it. And it's just like, hey, Ed, what's going on? I know that you live out here in Coeur d'Alene, and your awesome book is amazing. It changed my life, man. I know that would make a huge impact on people out there. Would love to have you on my show. Let's connect. 30 seconds. And I zip it over to them. And 9 out of 10 times, man, I'm having people respond back. That's how I got Bedros, Bradley, Ryan Stewman. Everybody
Shit,
responds back, man.
that's awesome. I guess if they see that they got a video, that's different, right? Then
Right.
I would assume that's different than, people just, sending a text
Yeah.
like what everybody does. So yeah, I
Yeah.
get
So
it. You stand out from the
personalize it.
crowd.
Yep. Totally, man. You got to do something different. Especially those guys who are
Yeah.
always getting pulled in different directions, or, I'm sure they get tons of requests to get on podcast.
Oh yeah, dude, for sure. And I've gotten like these random people that follow me on Instagram, and they just send me one of the saved fucking messages that they have for everybody.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
like, "What's going on, bro? Like, I came across your profile." It's like, "Nah, bro."
Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
And then when you buy products like from companies like First Form, where like the guys that are packaging it, they take a little selfie and they're like, "Hey, Irvin, what's going on, bro? I'm just here, man." And they show you the box. I'm just here packaging your stuff, and you know, like they send you like 2 videos, and I'm just like, "Oh shit, hell yeah,
Dude, that's amazing. I didn't know they did that. That's so funny.
yeah." Do you buy this stuff?
I've never bought First Form, man. A little bit out of my price, my price range, dude. But at least for right
Oh
now.
yeah,
But I mean, I heard it's just amazing stuff, man.
yeah, it is. I mean, I take like the pre-workout right here. I take it every morning to wake up. But
Sweet.
yeah, like I became friends with one of the guys because he started messaging me like that. So every once in a while we'll chat. And every time he comes across my order, which is rare because the company's huge,
Yeah,
um, he'll just be like, "Hey, here, bro, I'm packaging your stuff." I'm just like,
that's
dude,
so
that's
awesome,
awesome.
man. Yeah, dude, I've
Y'all
never
keep
heard of a
sending
company
me.
doing that.
Yeah, dude. So, like for you to do that too, like the personalized message that goes a long ways, man, for sure. So, yeah, can you tell me a little bit about your podcast? Like, why do you have two?
Yeah, that's a
Pretty
great
much
question,
instead of
man.
one.
So I started Top Rated May in 2012. It was just an apparel company. That's how
Oh,
we started, right? So we made a lot
mhm.
of big business mistakes. We bought a ton of inventory that we didn't sell, right? But my wife's the genius who came up with the name of Top Rated May. And this was like back in the day of Tap Out. Like, it was 2012 when we launched this thing.
Okay.
And so we wanted to do something different. So my wife's like, why don't we make it 100% American made? And still to this day, we are 100% American made apparel. I actually have my own press now. So I press my own shirts. I have my hat press. I do everything at home now. But when we first started, it was like, we're just buying this, and it was super expensive and, didn't sell a ton. But we started in 2012. out in Seattle area. Our first event, we hired a UFC fighter. We sponsored him, paid him $500 to come stand at our booth and do photos and wear our gear, right? And so everyone's like, who the heck is Top Rated Man? Why do they have UFC fighters already wearing their gear and stuff, right? So it came out big. And then we started getting calls from the UFC like management team, like, hey, do you want to sponsor Jeremy Stevens and all these guys? I'm like, well, how much do you want for it? They're like, well, $10,000. I'm like, dude, I started this company with 5, right? Like, there's no way, man. And so we tried to do like different events out in the Seattle area where I'd have a booth and I tried to sell shirts and stuff. And then I got bored with it. It was around 2015. I literally put a Craigslist ad out and said, who wants to buy this company, like Top Rated? I didn't say the name, but I just said, I have this company, MMA company. I'm like, I'm tired of it. Like, you can buy the brand, the logo, the Twitter followers, everything, and it's all yours. And I had one guy call me and he's like, dude, I'll buy that company for you or from you. And I was in that call, I literally had this flip, man. And I was like, dude, no way. I'm not selling it right now. I'm not giving up. And so I rebranded, got a brand new website, did a new logo. And then we launched the Top Rated MMA show, the podcast, in 2017. And really it was all about like, I want to talk to fighters. Like, why do they want to get punched in the face, man? Why do they want to get in there and do this? And I've always been intrigued by entrepreneurs. So in 2018, came across a guy named Ed Milet online and started listening to his stuff. Man, I was like just blown away. I started like binge watching all of his shows and everything. And that's what really inspired me to start my other show, which used to be called the Bearded Biz Show. Now it's called the Erik Allen Show. But in 2018, Ed Milet issued a challenge on Instagram to his 1 million followers at the time and said, hey, send me a story, a 1-minute story of what you're passionate about. What's your business about? What do you want to do with your life? And so I submitted the 1-minute video, had no idea what was going to happen. But about 2 months later, he announced me as the winner. I'm the winner of Ed Milet's Max Out Challenge. And so I got to have a phone call with Ed. It's supposed to be 20 minutes. We went 30 minutes, and then I was able to record that and release that as part of an episode. So episode 12 of my show, I had Ed Milet. So already by episode 12, I had Sean Whalen, like episode 6, Ed Milet, episode 12, and then it's just, steamrolled since.
That's awesome, dude. That like you leverage that time with him.
Yeah, totally, dude.
For the podcast.
Yeah. I was like, I reached out to his team. I'm like, hey, can I record this? They're like, yeah. So I took bits and pieces out of it because there was some stuff that we talked about more on the personal side, but there were some really good knowledge drops, in there that I was able to pull and then release that as an episode.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's awesome. And shit, I had like my fucking thought just went. And, I was gonna say, yeah, like I gotta check it out, dude. That's interesting. See what that's all about. And what's like the other one's more the Erik Allen show is more like entrepreneur side.
Yeah, so Erik Allen show, it's all talking with entrepreneurs, world changers, and success-minded people is what I say. So, for me, I am fascinated with people's stories. And so I've always been fascinated with entrepreneurs as well. So that's what kind of sparked me to start that show. And so I've had everybody on from like, like I said, Bedros Keuilian, Bradley, all those guys. But I've also had like interesting entrepreneurs like, or people that are out changing the world. Rachel Balkovic was one of the first female hitting coaches in Major League Baseball. I've talked to a guy who's climbed 6 of 7 mountains of the tallest mountains in the world. I talked to a 14-year-old kid that's an entrepreneur in the UK. I think his company's called Dog Bark Box or something like that. But he was like one of eBay's top sellers at 14 years old, lives on a farm, has no family that does entrepreneurship. He literally started selling eggs to neighbors from his farm, and then he bought a Nerf gun that was broken, fixed it, and then sold it. And then he thought, well, dude, I can do this on a big scale. So he would sell like massive toys through his website, and he gets off of school. He has 30 minutes to pack up all of his orders for the day and then ride a half mile to the post office to catch it before it goes out for the day, man. And like crazy story. This dude's hustling at 14, man. And I'm like, dude, that guy, I want him on my show. And so I reached out and was able to talk to him. And, so I'm all about talking with just like really, really cool people, man.
That's legit, dude. What correlation do you see between like MMA fighters, that the top of the game, and entrepreneurs that are also, killing it?
Yeah, dude. It's funny because I think it goes back to like, I ask fighters why they want to get punched in the face, but it's the same thing for entrepreneurs. Why do we want to get punched in the face? Hopefully it's not physically, right? But like we get all the no's and rejections and all that, man. So that's almost like kind of a hit in the face, right? So like the guys that can break through that, sustain those punches and keep going and get through the no's, get through the failures, because we all fail at entrepreneurship, right? Like it's all about mindset. Like how can you get through those things and then continue to fight for your dream and your passions and stuff like that? for me, I want to be a full-time entrepreneur. I'm not quite there yet, but for me, it's just pushing hard. So I see the correlation between the two is definitely if you can sustain those failures, but then keep going and realize that it's going to get better and just keep fighting it. And that's where I see that those ties together.
I think like the only difference, and you can probably agree to this, is like people don't say I wanna be an MMA fighter because they see everything they go through,
Right.
like the punches and all that. They get their ass kicked,
Yeah,
and everybody says I want to be an entrepreneur because they don't see all of that. They
totally.
don't see the punches. They don't see the downfalls, and
Yep.
so yeah, dude. This like what I was saying to one of the other guys that I interviewed earlier is like people want like they want like the business, they want the entrepreneurship, like that lifestyle, right? But they don't see like the real difficulty that's in it.
Totally.
Like yeah, like how you were saying, like all the punches, all the no's, all the rejection, and then like all the things like business related, right? Like the managing employees, having systems and processes, core values, and
Yeah.
yeah, and then when you do that, it's like when you find out, it's you think twice about it.
Yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, it's hard work doing, whatever. Like if you're an entrepreneur, man, it's so tough. And to go full time as an entrepreneur and have employees, like you said, man, that's super tough. And for me, I wake up at 4 a.m. 6 days a week to work on my podcast and
Oh,
reach out to guests and things like that. And then I'm usually up by about 4:30 on Sunday. I don't set an alarm, but typically 4:30 and 5, I'm awake on Sundays, and then start working on that. And my whole thing is, look, my desire to be successful is bigger than my desire to sleep. Right. So if I can get up
dude.
early and I can get that stuff done before I go to my regular job, and then at 5 o'clock I can call it quits and call it family time, then, that's when I have to get up. That's why I have to make it happen. That's why I get up early and make that crap happen.
So what time do you usually go to sleep?
I'm a party animal, dude. I'm usually asleep by 9:30, you know. I
I
tell my wife,
feel.
I'm like, Saturday night is the one night of the week that I'll kind of like try to stretch it a little bit more because I don't set that alarm on Sunday, so I might
Yeah,
make it to 10:30, maybe 11 some nights, but that's about it. Like,
yeah, dude. Like 4 a.m. That's like the time that I don't do it this often, but like that's the time that I try to wake up every day.
mhm.
So today I woke up at 4:05,
Okay.
but um, usually like when I was doing 75 hard last year, the end of last year, I would set my alarm at 3:45. Because all this, like not wanting to wake up, kind of deal, makes you actually get up at 4.
Yeah.
So that's
Yep.
that. Yeah, that's when I want to start. That's why I have the pre-workout here on my desk. It's the first thing I do whenever I wake up,
Yeah.
because I
Nice.
know I'm not going to sleep. So, but I also try to go to sleep early, man. But I'm like the type that like I cannot. It like I have trouble falling asleep, man. Do you like with everything that you do? Because I try to do a lot of stuff like you. I'm trying to have like that same schedule that you have.
Yeah.
Like, do you have trouble falling asleep, or what has helped you like just knock out?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't have problems falling asleep. I can pretty much fall asleep anywhere. I last about 5 minutes in any movie. Doesn't matter what movie it is. My wife wants a movie. I'm out in about 5 minutes. So I can
Yeah.
typically fall asleep pretty fast. My problem is though, if I wake up to like go pee or wake up or, for any reason in the middle of the night, my kid needs me or something like that, right? I have a tough time then falling back asleep. I
Mm.
can usually fall asleep right away initially, but I'm a very light sleeper. And so like we have a fan running, and if the door swings open past that fan, I wake up to the change of air. Like literally, like I'll wake up and go, what the, but usually I'm not
Sure.
a, so yeah, super light sleeper. But if I hit the pillow, I'm out like very quickly, unless I get up in the middle of the night for something, and then it takes me a bit to fall back asleep sometimes.
Yeah, dude, I'm a very heavy sleeper.
Oh, okay.
So,
Nice.
but I'm pretty like weird because like say today, like I woke up at 4:05.
Yeah.
So I do what I need to do, read, I do my gratitude minutes and whatever, thing I have to do a podcast. If I need to go to work, I leave like at 8 to go work, start my work day. If I don't,
Yeah.
then I'm here all day doing, this kind of stuff. Like we were talking about before the recording, like taking all of Wednesday to really, dial in these interviews and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, then after work, I try to do more stuff. And then, I mean, I try to go to sleep by like 10, 11, the latest,
Yeah.
dude. But sometimes like I don't go to sleep till like midnight. I end up waking up the next day around the same time, 4.
Right.
And I can just do that like over and over again, dude. And I'm like, I can get like 3 hours of sleep, but then like comes nighttime, like my head's just spinning, dude.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
And
I'm big on my Saturday naps. I'll say that, dude. Like, like, and I said, like, anytime I take a nap, which I usually like take at least a nap on one time during the weekend, either on Saturday, Sunday, but I make sure that I don't sleep more than an hour and a half for a nap. So then I can kind of wake up and I'm refreshed. I'm not super tired, but yeah, like there's definitely times on the weekends where I'm like, dude, I just did that whole week and like I'm tired. I need to take a nap, dude. Of course, I'm old. I'm
yeah.
41, so you know.
Yeah, I try not to take naps because
Yeah.
I know I'm for sure not gonna sleep
Right.
all night. So I still have that struggle, man. But you know, when when you have these big goals, right? Like, like you're saying, like your desire to create something, to do something big is far greater than sleeping.
Yeah.
Like I feel the same way, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, and like a lot of people, they don't like they say they want to do something big, but it's like when they don't have that like mindset that you have, when you said that, it's like do you really want to do something big?
Right. Yeah, dude. Yeah, for sure, man. For
Yeah,
sure.
you feel the same way with fighters like that, where they have like the desire to do something big in MMA or like fighting, whatever it is. Um, they kind of have like that same mentality where they just like either have trouble like falling asleep or doing something different aside from, their main focus, which is fighting.
Yeah, so I've had a very wide range of fighters on my show. I've interviewed over 200 fighters globally, and I can tell right away, typically on the fighters that I have on my show that are very serious about taking their fight skills to the next level. And then there's the guys who have no idea and they will talk about it, but they don't do anything about it, right? I'm big on, teaching these fighters how to market themselves properly. And so a lot of times I have my show focuses on amateur fighters. So typically these guys who are up and
Mm,
coming, early pro fighters. And, sometimes I'll get the bigger guys on there, but I really like to focus on these up and comers. So a lot of them are just trying to figure this thing out. Like, do I want to go and fight for a living? And, some guys turn pro and sometimes they don't, but like I can tell right away their work ethic of where they're at. And if I have a guy like that on my show that his work ethic is like awesome, they're going to the UFC. I've already seen several fighters that have been on my show as amateurs that are now fighting in the UFC, and they fought in, Dana White's Contender Series and things like that, and they've gotten the contract. And so, I do think that there is a certain mindset for fighters that I talk to. They're like, look, I'm training 4 times a day, or I'm training in the morning, I'm training at night, and then I work full time during the day. There's these guys that are just hungry for it. And so, I can always tell that those guys are the ones who are real serious about it.
yeah. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Did you ever want to be an MMA fighter growing up?
No, I mean, I watched Mike Tyson pay-per-views as a kid. My dad would always get those, and I remember like being in first grade. My cousin and I would walk down to the VHS store, man, and we'd rent UFC 1 and 2, and we'd go back and watch it, right? And we'd kind of like play wrestle, right? And I was a big wrestling fan. Like my dad took me to probably 6 or 7 like actual WWF or yeah, when it was called WWF events, like Jake the Snake and British Bulldog and all those guys. I've seen them all live. And so like I was always a fan of like combat sports and wrestling and things like that.
Mhm.
I think I was a ninja for Halloween for like 15 years straight, but yeah, I never actually fought or anything like
Nice.
that.
Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, dude. My sisters, I mean, I'm not really into like fighting or watching anything like that. I'm more
Yeah,
like of a soccer guy, right? Like
sure.
that kind of like sports. But I mean, my sisters, they fight. They're boxers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
so yeah, one of my sisters is 12, right? So she got in, I mean, what was it? A couple years back. I don't remember exactly when, but I mean, it was like super young, right?
Yeah.
My other sister got in 2013. She's 19 right now. So what, like 7 years, 8 years, going to 8 years. Um, and I mean, I'm pretty sure she's gonna become pro. I've talked to my dad, yeah, and she's I think she has one more amateur fight before one of the promoters in Mexico was talking to him about signing her pro.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so we'll see what she does with it.
Yeah, that's so good, man. Those, I mean, they're warriors, man, for sure. Like, I much prefer to be on this side of the cage. I've been in the cage for photo ops, and that's about it, man. You know?
Yeah, you don't get past that point.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like, so I cover a lot of the local events out here. Like, I'll also go sit cage side and do live results. I'm posting on social media during the night, like, oh yeah, this guy won in the first round
Mm.
and things like that.
Okay.
And I had my buddy come up from Washington to watch a fight with me one time. He'd never been to live MMA, you know. So we're sitting cage side at this event, and he goes, "Am I gonna get blood on me, dude?" I'm like, "No, dude, I've never gotten blood on me." First fight, throws an elbow, breaks the guy's face open right here, and blood
Dang.
splats all on the table and on the laptop in front of us. My buddy looks at me like, "What the hell just happened?" Like,
Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
yeah. So it was just like, it was so funny because the rest of the night, man, his eyes were just huge. Like, oh my gosh, what just happened? You know. But I think I've gotten splatted just a few times. But you know, I see that happen. I'm like, dude, I definitely do want to be in there with that guy. You know.
Yeah. Man, he's over here looking at you like, oh man, like you told me I wasn't gonna get blood on myself.
Totally.
First thing that happens, blood.
Yep. Yep.
So for like these fighters, do you handle like I get like their social media, or do you just like promote them somewhere else?
So what I typically do is if I find a fighter that's active on Instagram, that's kind of my big thing is like if you're not active on Instagram, I'm not going to take you on my show.
Mm,
And so if they are active on Instagram, then and they catch my attention by posting a lot of stuff, then I will typically reach out to them and say, "Hey, come on the show." And then when I release the show, my shows go out to Facebook, IGTV, they go out to YouTube, they go out to Rumble, they go out
mm,
to all video formats, or I mean all audio formats as well. So Apple, Spotify, all that fun stuff. And then I'm actually partnered with a company called Fightbook MMA and their email list. So when I post their blog has about 30,000 people and their email list is like 28,000 people long. So I do post on that. So they get some exposure in that way as well. So it helps me to be able to promote those fighters through that method. And then of course it goes on the blog of my website as well. But my big thing is you have to be active on social media if I'm going to bring you on my show. And whether they share it or not, which most of them do, like I said, most of these guys are amateurs, and so they're excited to get their name out. But I've had the guys that, you know, they come on my show and then they don't share it, which doesn't make any sense to me.
mm. They don't want that exposure, man.
Right? Yeah. It's like, dude, come on. You know.
Yeah, and dude, it's crazy too because like there's businesses out there that don't use social media, and
Right.
it's like they don't want to get known out there, and it's like why, dude? Like it's 2021. If you don't hop on the social media trend,
Yeah.
you're gonna get left behind.
Yep, I agree. I mean, and I think Clubhouse has blown it up for me. I mean, that's how you and I got connected, right? So like I got on Clubhouse right before Christmas. And then like, you know, a week after that, probably the first week of January is when I really started taking Clubhouse seriously. And I was able to connect with some massive names. And, you know, one of my like leader guys that I've always thought was just an awesome businessman. I'll be talking to punk ass Dan Caldwell, who's the founder of Tap Out on my show here in just a couple of weeks, man. So I'm super stoked about that.
Nice. Was he on Clubhouse?
Yeah, dude, that's how we connected. And so he was speaking
That's
on a
crazy.
stage in Clubhouse, and him and his wife have an awesome podcast called Pretty in the Punk, and it's about entrepreneurs who have kids. And so like, you know, because he's a dad now and they have 3 kids, and he's like, I can try to be an entrepreneur, but I have kids and they make interruptions and things like that. And so he's just like super down to earth. And I was in a room with him and we were talking about podcasting and stuff like that. And it's funny because I was like, hey, can we just like teach the people who are new, like, how do you reach out to guests? And so I was kind of giving some tips and stuff like that. And then Dan Caldwell goes, dude, I follow, you know, Topper May is awesome brand. I think it's awesome that you're doing that. He goes, Eric, you're the OG of podcasting. I'm like, what? He said that to me? Like, you know, like one of those things, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Clubhouse has opened up so many doors, man. I had a call last week with Dr. Greg Reed, who wrote the book 3 Feet from Gold.
Mm.
Amazing dude. In fact, I'm actually going to I got invited to go to his secret knock event in September, which is an invite only networking event. And after I had him on my show, man, and mind blowing, I'm so excited for that, man. So just like so many doors are opening just from Clubhouse alone.
Dude, that's legit, man. Yeah. Like I haven't really been I mean, I'm on there a lot, but I haven't really been like trying to get these guests on my
Yeah,
show, well, which I should. But yeah, dude, Clubhouse is insane.
it is
The
absolutely. I mean, I think so. I set a personal goal this year to be a guest on 100 podcasts this year. So thank you for this, being part of that.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
but Clubhouse, since I got on there, like I'm booked right now for 32 podcasts this year already, and last
Wow.
year I only did 25.
Oh wow. Dude, you're gonna hit that thing in no time. Two,
That's the goal, man.
two more months, dude, and you'll be there
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Dude, I remember one time we were on I was at that podcasting mastermind with Zach,
Oh
and
yeah,
we all decided to hop into Clubhouse, right? So
yeah.
we were like, it was 9, 10 of us. So we like Zach started a room and we're all there and we just started pinging people. Um, and for like 5 seconds, Grant Cardone hopped onto the room. Because Zach, Zach has him as a I think he's follows Zach.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, like he pinged him and he hopped on as a listener. I tried to bring him up stage, but then he left. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
But like it's insane. Yeah, it's insane how you can just like connect with these kind of people, man. And then it's like how I was saying before, where it's like if you don't hop on this trend, like you're gonna get left behind, dude.
Yep. Oh yeah. For sure, man. In fact, that's like, so I did a public speaking today. It was my second public speaking
Mhm.
engagement. Last week I got my first paid speaking gig, and then this week today was a event called RiseX, and it's like a TEDx event, but times, for the entire state of Idaho. It's this thing out here, and so there's about probably, I don't know, 35 people on there. But the reason that I got connected was that, or through that, and got asked to go be the keynote speaker for that today, was because of Clubhouse. There's a group called Entrepreneurs of Idaho. I happened to jump in, didn't know
Mhm.
anybody, and then we started talking. And then they reached out to me last week and like, "Hey, dude, you want to speak at this event?" And I was like, "Heck yeah, let's do it, man." So, dude, I mean, this Clubhouse is absolutely like, you need it if you're in any sort of business or you have a brand of yourself or anything like that, man. It's an absolute, you have to have it.
Yeah, dude, for sure. Um, now that you touched on the like the speaking, I know you have like a goal, right, of getting in. What was it like 12?
Yeah, so I want to do 12 speaking engagements this year. And so far they've only both of them have been virtual so far, which I'm totally fine if I'm doing virtual or public speaking, that's totally fine either way. But yeah, so I mean my goal for this year is I'm going to release 100 episodes of my podcast combined. So that's one every week, or actually twice a week. And then I'll take the week of Christmas off and maybe one other week somewhere in the year. But typically I'll release every single week. Every Friday is the Erik Allen Show, and every Saturday is the Top Rated MMA Show. And then I want to be a guest on 100 shows, and then I want to speak from 12 stages.
Dude, by the end of the year, you're gonna be known everywhere.
Well, trying, man. Yeah, no slowing down. And I'm not really declining any podcast requests. Like if somebody
Yeah,
reaches
no.
out and, "Hey, would you come on my show?" Right? I'm like, I don't care if you're talking about dolls, right? Like, let me get on there and I'll spread my name, right? Like ever since January 1st of this year through mid-April right now, I either have a guest on my show or I'm a guest on a show. So every single day through mid-April right now, I'm packed booked with doing podcasts. Today I'm doing 3, which is odd, but usually I only do 1 a day. But yeah, today was a 3 in a day, man.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's intense like that, man, when you just pack up the day.
Yeah, totally. And working a full-time job.
Oh, dude. You have so much going on, but it's awesome, bro. See
Yeah.
you hustling.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. How did you get into the like the top 5 entrepreneurs for Idaho, man? Can you speak a little bit about that? That's pretty awesome, dude.
Pretty sweet, man. Yeah, for sure, man. It's such an honor. Last year, I had a friend of mine nominate me. And so you have to go through a nomination process. So like if they can nominate you, and then you still have to get votes to kind of get to the final 5, and then they take the top 5 out of that. And so last year I got nominated by a friend of mine, and so I was like, well, that's cool. Like I'll try to see what happens, right? And so so I was kind of pushing a little bit, but I'm not really like, hey, go, 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 go. Like I'll announce it a couple times and see what happens. And
Yeah.
so last year, they announced the winner. I was not the winner, but I emailed the guy and I'm like, "Hey, just out of curiosity, can you tell me where I landed in the top 5?" And they're like, "Dude, you're number 4." And I was like, "Oh man, I was so close." And so this
Yeah.
year, I don't know when they started it. They had nomination time, like you had to nominate somebody, right? And so I happened to check their website and on the 29th of January, and they're like, "Hey, nomination voting ends on the 31st." So I only had 2 days to get enough nomination votes to get into the top 5. So I went on kind of this spritz of like, all right, hey, go nominate me, not me. And like everybody was doing it, and you did, and all these people, man. And so I made it to the top 5 again this year, which is really rad. So 2 years in a row, I'm in the top 5 entrepreneurs of North Idaho. Voting for that ends on the 14th. So here, just a couple days. And then they'll announce the winner sometime next week or something like that. So we'll see. I do have some stiff competition this year for sure. There's a couple new folks on there that weren't on there last year that I'm like, that I know who they are, and I'm like, I'm not surprised that they're on there. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh man, how did I end up like in the top 5 with those guys?
Yeah, but now it's just a matter of fact of getting votes just to be that number 1.
Yep, totally. Yeah,
dude, hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. I hope, yeah, man. I hope you get it. That'd be like, you can like leverage that, like fucking put it everywhere.
Yeah,
on your social media.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'll take it. Like, hey, top 5. I'm cool with that too, right? If I can win it, even better. But if I do list it on LinkedIn and everywhere on my sites, man. Like, hey, I'm a top 5 guy in the last 2 years in a row, man. So yeah, we'll keep it going. We'll win it one of these years for sure.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, why wouldn't you, right?
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask how many were there, like total guys,
for the nomination?
Yeah.
I don't know how many it started. It was at least 20 or so, 25 people to start with that were all nominated, right? And so then they take the top 5, and then that's the final voting for this week right now. Yeah.
And is there like unlimited, I guess, people that can get nominated? Or there's like a cap?
I don't know how many people can be nominated. I just know that they take the final 5 for the last part of the voting. So that's what we're in right now. I think that there's no limit to the number of people that can be nominated, though. Like if you happen to run a business and you wanted to nominate yourself, you can even do that. Right? Like I want to be in there, right?
Yeah. Oh.
So, yeah, man, we'll see how it goes. And I know last year they did like the winner got to have they did like a winter ceremony or something like that, but they probably won't do this. I mean, I guess they did that virtually, right? So they probably won't do it in person again this year. But out here, like we're kind of like, what's COVID?
Yeah.
I mean, we have one place out here that requires masks, but probably 95% of the people who live in my area don't wear a mask.
That's awesome. Same as Florida.
Yeah, totally.
They don't even care.
Right?
Yeah. Dude, like leveraging like that top 5, dude, is going to be big for the speaking engagements that you're gonna get. Just be like, hey, just pitch your number, just being on the shows, just sending like these pitches, just be like, hey, I was a top 5 for 2 years in a row for Idaho, the top entrepreneurs. And then they'll be looking at it and they'll be like, oh shit, man, hell yeah, come through.
Yeah. I guess that's one thing I need to put together. I have not done yet. I don't have a one sheet yet. So one of these days I need to put a one sheet together that can, I guess, be a better promotion than just my mouth. But like have
for email.
Yeah, for email, I guess, or like if I wanted to submit my staff, or if somebody was asking me like, hey, what do you do? I can submit like a 1-pager to them on like, accomplishments and my podcast and stuff like that, I guess. But I've heard from Zach, I think he said that, it's good to have a 1-page thing going through his courses and stuff like that. I have not done that yet. I think you can make them on Canva or something like that, or pay somebody on Fiverr to do it pretty cheap, probably though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna say that like if you didn't have it, I can send you the one that I got from Zach. I mean, it's pretty simple. It's like a less than 1 page. It's like half a page.
Oh, nice.
But it's really like 2 or 3 sentences that he listed out there. Like for his accomplishments, just related to the podcasting or whatever. And what I did is like I just deleted those 2-3 lines and I added mine on there. Just saying, especially like for whenever you're trying to like pitch somebody for you to be on, like no interview swap.
Yep.
Yeah. So like what I did or what I'm gonna do or what I'm gonna have my VA do tomorrow and Friday is like email that to other podcast hosts that have like similar size podcasts as mine.
Yeah.
And it's gonna say just a little bit about my story. Is gonna say I started electrician at 10 years old that turned I think this is like turned CEO. Like, so that's like one sentence just talking about the electrical, and then the other sentence is saying, and I have a top rated podcast, because I got ranked. It says top rated podcast on iTunes, Breakthrough Society. And so it's just really like 2 or 3 sentences, man.
Yep.
And you can just like send that to whatever speaking conferences you're trying to get to, and it'll help you out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah. So I think that'll definitely come into play more for the public speaking engagements, right? That I want to try to get on. So yeah, it'll be fun once I get that going.
Yeah. And if you have your podcast ranked, or if you plan on having it ranked, you can just add on there. And there's another one,
Yeah, I got it
another
ranked
accomplishment.
133 on the Apple charts for my Bearded Biz show in January. And then
Nice.
Top MMA, I didn't know this until last month, but I ranked number 9 in Albania. Apparently, I got some Albania listeners out there, so thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah, but same thing, man. Just leveraging that stuff.
Yep. Oh yeah, absolutely. Anything I can do, man. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. It's awesome, bro. So before we wrap up here, man, just tell the listeners where they can find you and find out everything you're doing.
Yeah, best place is just erikallenmedia.com. That's my website. You can see the blog. You can see my, speaking engagements. I've got a store on there where I've got some cool stickers, and I do custom laser
Nice.
work and stuff like that, and video promo work for brands and stuff like that. But yeah, erikallenmedia.com. That's the main website. And then I'm heavy usage on Instagram. Just Eric G. Allen is my handle there. And if you're on Facebook, it's Erik Allen Media. That'll get you right to my Facebook page. And so I kind of do different things for each of the platforms. A lot of times it'll be the same where I'm posting the shows, but I do separate things. And so, yeah, definitely check them out. Erik Allen Media, Erik G. Allen on Instagram. Love connecting with new people. So always I respond to any comments or DMs or anything like that. So if anybody wants to connect, feel free to shoot me a message.
Awesome. And guys, I follow him on IG for sure, and his content is fire. So I highly suggest you follow that Instagram for sure.
I just came across Reels, man, and I'm having fun with that stuff.
Yeah.
Try not to embarrass myself too much, but yeah, I'm getting those on there, man.
You're doing TikTok too?
I don't have TikTok. I just have Reels, and it was funny because usually my Reels I'll get like 500 or 600 like views, and I don't know what it was. Like if it was a hashtag that I used or if the song that I used, but I did this one the other day where I did a mic drop. I don't know if you saw that one.
Yeah, I think I did.
And so I posted that thing, and in like 5 seconds, I got a message back from Instagram saying your thing has been viewed 1,500 times, and I was like, "What?" And like I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden it kind of like it kind of flattened out at like around 2,500 or 2,600 views. But like it just went as soon as I like put it on there, and I was like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
Like some analytic caught it, man, and just shot it everywhere.
Yeah, it might have been like the combination of that, of like the music and what catches somebody's attention within the first like 3 seconds or so.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, it's fun. I'm having fun doing that for sure.
Yeah, it's awesome, bro. All right, man. Well, thanks for taking your time out of your busy day and doing the show, man. Appreciate you.
Absolutely, man. Such an honor, dude. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man, for sure. Have a good day.
You too.